Okay, going live in a minute as soon as I get a viewer in here. Actually, go ahead and share on Twitter real quick here. Don't mind me if you're watching. One second. Okay, we don't have anybody yet, but I'm not going to wait forever. So we are going live. All right, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host, Chuck Stevenson. Welcome to the weekend preview for the last weekend of women's mixed martial arts for 2021. Technically, all of these fights happen early Friday morning here at the latest. So it's not really a full weekend preview. It's more like a Thursday, Friday preview. But we got 3 different events for fights I want to talk about. And then we're going to talk about Pallas Athena. There's a new women's mixed martial arts promotion coming out of Western Canada, of all places. And we're going to talk a little bit about it, go over some of the fights that are going to go down. And that goes down on, I believe, January 15th, I want to say. Yes, January 15th. It's going to be a pay-per-view, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. But so first up, let's get this weekend preview done first here. Let me get my iPad situated here. Okay, so first up, we have WFC number 11 is going to go down Thursday morning, early Thursday morning in the U.S. from Seoul, South Korea. And it has 1 ladies bout. Unfortunately, this card got messed up real bad by most likely Le Couf, as I like to call it. And it went from having 2 ladies bouts with 1 title fight to 1 ladies title fight. And the title fight changed weight class, and one of the fighters changed out as well. But the fight we have now is going to be the inaugural strawweight championship for WFC between Kim So-yul and Song Hye-yoon. Now, I haven't found anything about Song on the right there behind the blue. Haven't been able to find anything about her. I will tell you a little bit about So-yul Kim, or Kim So-yul, who I think I've watched all of her fights at this point. All but her first MMA fight. So she comes from kickboxing originally out of Max FC in Korea. And most of her, all but one of her MMA fights have been in One Warrior Series, which is like One Championships. It's kind of like their Contender Series, but that's like her last 3 fights, all victories have come from there. Actually, her last 4 fights, and all but one of them were victory. And I'll tell you what, Kim So-yul has come a long way as an MMA fighter in a short amount of time. Now, fortunately, she has not fought since October of 2019, so she might be bringing in some ring rust, but if this Song Hye-yoon that she's fighting is a debutante, then it shouldn't be too big of a problem. Anyway, I'll tell you what I can about Kim. I don't have an age listed here on Topology. She's 5 feet 3 inches, 159 centimeters tall, has a reach, 62.6 inches, 159 centimeters. She has a record of 4-1, and she's on a 3-fight win streak. 2 of those wins coming by decision, 1 coming by a TKO. So it looks pretty promising. Striker, nice striking. The ground game is coming along a little bit from what I can remember of the fights of hers that I've seen. But we'll have to see. Right now, my pick is going to be Kim So-yul to win and become the inaugural double GFC strawweight champion. But also on Thursday, later in the day, from the Czech Republic, we have Oktagon 30 with 2 ladies bouts, including the main event, which is going to be for the inaugural Flyweight Championship. So Oktagon, I believe this is the first Oktagon event that is headlined by the ladies. So I'm pretty excited for this one. First up, we have a bantamweight bout. Lucia Sabova taking on Olga Rubin. So we got the silent killer Sabova coming in at 6-0. Big bad Olga Rubin coming in at 7-2. Now Sabova is on a nice 4-fight win streak. She most recently defeated Cornelia Holm via decision 4 months ago in Oktagon. Rubin came back after 2 years out, came in on a week's notice, took a split decision over Priscilla De Souza in Oktagon a little over a week ago. So, or excuse me, about a month and a half ago. So came in short notice. The bout was at about, I think, 140 catch weight. Came in and got a win there. So now Rubin is moving all the way down to bantamweight to take on Lucia Sabova. And I'll tell you what, Sabova is a beast here. Anyway, back to the stats here. Youth favors Sabova. She's 24-32 for Rubin. Rubin slightly taller, 5'9", 174 centimeters to 5'8", 173 centimeters for Sabova. Some nice tall bantamweights here. No reach listed on Tapology for Sabova. Rubin is listed at 69 inches, 175 centimeters. So her reach is about as long as she is tall. This is definitely a step up for Sabova. I have, no doubt that this is her biggest test to date for Lucia Sabova. This fight is going to be very important for her because she is calling out. She's already called out UFC veteran Lucia Pudilova to fight and meet for the Oktagon bantamweight title, which is vacant. They haven't started it yet. Rubin, this is a chance for her to really get back into the win column here. Rubin, she was doing great. She was undefeated at 6-0, and then met Julia Budd in Bellator for the featherweight title, lost via TKO there, and then got stopped by Sinead Kavanagh, 4 months later. Pandemic hit. She never made it back to Bellator. I guess they released her. Now she's found a new home for herself in Oktagon. Both ladies really need this win. For Lucia Sabova, this is a chance for her to make a statement against a former Bellator featherweight contender. And for Rubin, this is a chance for her to go, I hit a little bit of a hurdle there in my development. Now I moved down in weight. I'm at a weight where she might be stronger here. And to take on a young, undefeated up-and-comer in Lucia Sabova, this is a really good fight for the bantamweight division. I love what Oktagon has been doing with their bantamweights. This fight really has a lot of fireworks. Both fighters, primarily strikers. Lucia Sabova is one of my nominees for Knockout of the Year. She had a girl with a high kick, and the girl just fell over straight like a stone. I just think that this fight has fireworks written all over it. Really, really excited for this one. My pick, I'm going to go Lucia Sabova. She just has all the momentum in the world right now. Now, she fought anyone, quite as experienced or as high level as, Rubin yet? No, she hasn't. So that's why this is a real test for her. But I just think that, she looks to get better from fight to fight, and she has all the momentum in the world. This could be Big Bad Rubin's fight. Could very easily be her fight. But for right now, I'm going with the silent killer, Lucia Sabova, to win this one. Then we have the main event. Flyweight Championship. Teresa Bleda taking on Maybelline Lima. So Bleda coming in at 4-0, undefeated as a professional, taking on Lima, coming in at 9-1. Big experience factor in favor of Lima. Now, Lima actually hasn't fought. According to Topology, she hasn't fought in 2 years. So that's definitely going to favor Bleda there. Bleda last fought 4 months ago, defeating Edna Oliveira via submission due to armbar. Let's see. Lima is 27, and if I remember correctly, Teresa Bleda is only 19 years old. So big experience factor in favor of Lima, and just the age and the maturity is going to favor Lima here. Now, here's where the differences change. The height factor. Bleda is very tall, 5 feet 9 inches, 175 centimeters, to a mere 5 feet 2 inches, 157 centimeters for Maybelline Lima. That is a big size difference for Lima to overcome. Now, I don't have a reach listed for Bleda on Topology. Lima's is listed at 63.5 inch, 161 centimeters. So she actually has a longer reach than she is tall, which tells me that she either has like broad shoulders or like really long arms. Other than that, I honestly have not seen any of Lima's fights. Her record's not bad. I mean, she's not like one of those complete can crushers out of Brazil. I mean, her first few fights were, but then she started picking up the competition level a little bit. Then it kind of fell off a little bit. She took a loss to Luana Carolina, Dread Carolina, the UFC flyweight. That was back in 2018. Fought once more in 2018 and then fought once in 2019. Hasn't fought since then. She was supposed to fight earlier this year in March in Brazil. And looks like that got canceled. And now she's taking on Teresa Bleda. I got to go with Teresa Bleda to win this one. The experience factor definitely favors Lima, but the size, the strength factor is probably going to favor Bleda. And just the momentum and, the recent activity. So I got to go with Teresa Bleda to win this one. And I'll tell you what, if there's any flyweight prospect outside the UFC that the UFC should be taking a look at, it is definitely young Teresa Bleda. And I think winning a title here will definitely help her catch eyes of some bigger promotions. So then early Friday morning, we have RIZIN 33 at the Saitama Super Arena in Japan. Last big Japanese MMA show of the year. We've got 2 ladies fights on this card. So first up, we have a 50-kilogram bout, 110 pounds. Reina taking on Shiu Park. This is one of those fights. Both of these ladies' fights on RIZIN, I'm really excited for. This one, it's hard not to be excited because it's Reina in RIZIN on New Year's Eve. I mean, those 3 things go together like bread, peanut butter, and jelly. That's how good those 3 things go together. And Shiu Park, who, don't be fooled by a record. I believe that she is a better fighter than her record shows. It's just that she has been fighting really good competition relevant to her experience so far. And I think it shows when you look at who she's fought too. Anyway, let's get into the stats here. So Reina coming in at 12-3, Park coming in at 5-4. Now Reina is on a nice 4-fight winning streak here. Most recently fought defeating Miyu Yamamoto via ground and pound TKO 3 weeks, just like 4 weeks ago. Park, now she is on a 2-fight skid here. She lost to Saori Oshima in Deep Jewels, the Atomweight tournament. 5 months ago, and then most recently she fought Seika Izawa just under 2 months ago, losing a decision, and no shame in that one at all, because she moved up in weight for the first time and Izawa moved down, and Izawa is the Deep Jewels strawweight champion. And I'll tell you what, Park gave Izawa the hardest fight that she's experienced so far. So, like I said, don't be fooled by Park's record. She's much better than her record shows. Anyway, they are the same age, 30 years old. And actually looking on the age of topology, they're 3 days separate. Park is 3 days older than Reina, which I thought was very interesting. Anyway, Reina is just slightly taller, 5 feet 3 inches, 160 centimeters, to Park's 5'2", 157 centimeters. No reach available for Park. Reina is listed at 63 inches, 160 centimeters. This is a very classic striker versus striker battle. Park's primarily a kickboxer. Has been working on her ground game a lot, though, especially since she moved to Japan around this time last year, so that she could keep fighting. And whereas Reina has made her entire career striking, in shoot boxing and different kickboxing organizations, and that it has carried over into, her MMA fighting style as well. Now, Reina does bring in a very nice submission threat as well, and that she brought that over from shoot boxing as well, because shoot boxing allows like standing submissions, flying submissions, stuff like that. But Reina's adapted that pretty well to her game as well. One thing I noticed in her last fight, Park's ground game definitely improved when she fought the wrestler and judoka Seika Izawa. Izawa had a hard time taking her down, and when she got her down, just could not keep her there. That could be a factor too. Who's the better striker overall, the more dynamic striker? I got to go with Reina on that one, and I think Reina wins this one. She has the experience. Not only does Reina have more MMA experience, 15 fights to 9 for Park, Reina has just absolute years and years of professional combat sports experience as well in shoot boxing. To me, Reina just has more ways to win this. She can win via striking. She can win via submission. She has, I think, a darn near like 100% finishing rate. Let me look this up real quick here. See if I can find this. $58, $20. So out of what? So out of 12 wins, Reina has finished 9 of them. So that's an excellent finishing rate there. To finish 9 out of your 12 wins. 7 via KO, TKO, 2 via submission. Just phenomenal finisher in the cage is Reina Kubota. Park, mostly more of a decision fighter. Bringing her record up here. And she has decision, 1. She only has 1 win via finish. So, and I think the longer this fight goes on, the more it's going to favor Reina as well. So I'm going to go with Reina to win this one. But don't underestimate Shiyu Park. And then also on this card at super atomweight, a non-title bout for whatever reason, only could explain this because it's Japan. RIZIN super atomweight champ Ayaka Hamasaki taking on Seika Izawa at super atomweight in a non-title bout. The brother man says, "What's up? What's up, the brother man? How you doing?" Let's see. So Hamasaki versus Izawa. This is exciting. This is an exciting fight. Izawa I'll tell you in a second, has a lot less experience. I mean, a lot less experience than Hamasaki. But Izawa's good. I mean, she is good, and she is getting better every fight. I mean, she might get blown out by Hamasaki. I don't know, but I think anybody that underestimates her does so at their own peril. Oh, we got a super chat from the brother, man. Thank you very much. Says, hey, Chuck, what's your best moment for 2021 in WMMA? And also, Juliana Pena upset Nunes, that saved Bantamweight and Featherweight division. Best moment for 2021. It might be Pena upsetting Nunes. Also, Thug Rose knocking out Weili Zhang. That was a really good moment. There's been some good ones. Those two are probably the two that stand out the most. Just because they had like the longest reaching. As far as, I think Pena beating Nunes definitely opens up Bantamweight wide open. As far as the featherweight division, I don't know. I don't think so. But thank you to Brotherman for the super chat. Anyway, back to Hamasaki versus Izawa. So let's get into the stats here. So Hamasaki comes in with a major experience advantage here. 23-3 to Izawa's 4-0. So Izawa has only had 4 professional fights to Hamasaki's 26. However, the youth, and you can see it on the chart here, favors Izawa 24-39. But I'll tell you what, Ayaka Hamasaki may be 39 years old, but she is not slowing down at all. From what everything I can see shows that she is not really slowing down as a fighter. She has not stopped progressing as a fighter as far as her skills go. Her cardio doesn't seem to be a huge problem that I can see, other than the last Kana Asakura fight when she, tried really hard to knock her out in the first round and then kind of got tired after that. But other than that, it's not like her cardio is suffering. So, yeah, youth is on Izawa's side, but with that age comes experience, wisdom, a lot of things that still favor Hamasaki. Height, 5'2", 157 centimeters for Izawa to 5'1", 155 centimeters for Ayaka Hamasaki. So, as I mentioned earlier, Seika Izawa is she's the current Deep Jewels strawweight champion. She moved down to 108 pounds, the RIZIN super atomweight division, for her last fight in Deep Jewels and defeating Shiyu Park via decision. And now everybody knew, like everybody that was watching that fight knew that fight was taking place at super atomweight to see who would move into RIZIN. And it just worked out that both fighters got the call up now. But Izawa is getting a fight against Ayaka Hamasaki, and if she beats Hamasaki, guaranteed she's going to face Ayaka Hamasaki again with the title on the line. Why this is a non-title bout at this time, I have no idea. I think if you're going to have your champion fighting within her own weight class, the title should be on the line every time. That's a very JMMA thing that they've done for years, and there have been times when it absolutely blew up in their face. Going all the way back to the Pride days, or in the case of Seika Izawa, she faced the Deep Jewel strawweight champion Miki Motono last December in a non-title bout, beat Motono, and then got to face her again for the title and beat her again. And now, poor Seika, she's now in the same situation where she's going up against a more experienced champion in a non-title bout. Not only does she have to put on a show against an all-time great in the women's divisions in Hamasaki, but if she beats her, she has to beat her again to get the title. It just sucks, man. I mean, she's kind of getting screwed here, to be honest. I mean, because you have a champion fighting in her own division in a non-title bout. For one thing, you're robbing the fans of a potential title fight. And everyone loves a title fight. People want to see champions in title bouts. They don't want to see champions in non-title fights. But then you're also screwing over your own fighter in Izawa in that you make her have to face the champion again if she wins. Basically, she has to beat her twice to win the title. It's like I don't know. Seika Izawa has Thug Rose syndrome because every time she wins the title, she's got to face the champion again. She's got a rematch to just prove that she can do it again. I don't know. As far as the fight goes, so both fighters are primarily grapplers. Hamasaki, judo, catch wrestling. Izawa's case is judo and wrestling. Both very high level in those departments. Hamasaki has really nice boxing though. Like she goes to a boxing gym to train her hands and has improved really well in that department. I mean, she has some of the best punches, the best overall like boxing mechanics, or especially her jab. She has one of the best jabs in the women's divisions, bar none. And she's a southpaw, so she knows how to use that to her advantage too, because she's jabbing with the right hand, and most fighters are not used to that. Now Izawa, I'll tell you what, she has some nice kicks that she used very effectively on Miki Motono in their first fight. Really threw some nice kicks to the body. Her mechanics just aren't as far along as Hamasaki is, though. I mean, she's only been Seika Izawa. She only turned pro in MMA in 2020. Yeah, she turned professional as an MMA fighter on October 31st in 2020. And her second fight took on the Deep Jewels champ, won. Third fight, won the Deep Jewels championship. Fourth fight, fought Shiyu Park just in October. Now she's taking on one of the all-time greats, Hamasaki. I gotta be honest, I gotta favor Hamasaki here. Gotta go with the more experienced fighter. Now, this is the same situation as Park, though. Don't underestimate Izawa. She is very good. She showed a lot of promise in a very short amount of time. Last year, or earlier this year, for my year-end awards for last year, I named her the prospect to watch in 2021. And what did she do? She wins the Deep Jewels title, wins another fight, and now here she is on the last night of 2021 taking on Ayaka Hamasaki. I mean, if she wins this one, I already think the sky's the limit is the limit for Seika Izawa. But if she wins this match, she's like going to be overnight star in Japanese MMA right now, easily. But having said that, I'm going to go with Seika Izawa to win here. So that's it for the weekend preview. Didn't want to go too deep on it, but I do want to talk about, there is a new promotion out of Canada, Western Canada, called Pallas Athena Women's Fighting Championship. And they have their first event scheduled for January 15th in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Now, they've been slowly announcing fights. I've been waiting to talk about them because I wanted to wait to see, most of the card development. I'll tell you what, though, for their first fight card, I think they're doing a darn good job. They've got a good mix of experience. Good mix of experience levels, a good mix of weight class for their first bout. And they're topping it off with a pair of title bouts. And one of the fighters should be known to anybody who watches this stream. So there they are, the first all-women mixed martial arts corporation in Western Canada. So the first fight they have listed here is going to be between Ekaterina Voronova and Eleni David at strawweight. Now, both of these fighters are going to be making their pro debut. So it's always nice to see the future of any division making their pro debuts. Then they have a pair of bantamweight debutantes. Alana Cook taking on, what is this girl's first name? Max Turkati Novosedlik. She has a two-part last name. Don't know anything about Turkati Novosedlik here on the right here. Alana Cook on the left-hand side is 1-0 as an amateur. Looks like she only has one amateur bout listed in 2018. But they're both locals to Canada. Then we have a flyweight bout. Tanya Niger taking on Dakota Chava. Niger is making her pro debut. Chava, I'll tell you what, Niger has a really rough pro debut here taking on Dakota Chava. Chava is 3-0 out of England, and she has looked amazing in all three fights so far. Her last fight, she took on a 9-fight veteran and defeated her at UKFC 17 just last month. So she's less than 2 months and she'll be making a fast turnaround here. Then we have a 108-pound pro bout. I don't know why 108. But Shauna Ram taking on Alessandra Fajeda. Ram coming in at 1-0. She's a local out of Canada. Taking on the Brazilian Fajeda is coming in at 4-1. Then we have a flyweight bout. Both ladies making their pro debut. Katie Rand on the right there, taking on Iram Aiken. Aiken looks to be out of. She's fighting out of, is that Turkey? Yep, Turkey. Katie Rand is fighting out of the UK. Then we have another bantamweight bout. Maria Dukic, 1-0, taking on Clara Risignuola, coming in at 3-2. A French girl taking on local Canadian. Let me see, Risignuola. She's got a pretty good record here. Started out in 2017. Hasn't fought since 2019, but getting back into it. That's nice to see. Maria Dukic here, 27 years old, 1-0, fought earlier this year in June. Then we have a bantamweight bout. Jackie McLean taking on Melissa Croden. McLean coming in 1-0, Croden coming in at 2-1. So I believe they're both out of Canada. Then we have the co-main event, strawweight championship. Laura Fontoura taking on Andy Nguyen. Fontoura there with the darker hair is coming in at 6-0. And Andy Nguyen, more experienced, but a lot more fight miles on her, coming in at 6-9. Andy Nguyen, she's mostly fought at atomweight as an MMA fighter, so she's moving up to strawweight for this one. And I believe Fontoura is local to Canada. Nguyen, of course, American. King of the Cage veteran, RIZIN veteran. She's fought for a number of promotions. Was fighting Muay Thai for a little bit, got away from MMA, fought Muay Thai for a little bit, but should be pretty well known to most on here, most of this channel's viewers. That should be a good fight there. And then the main event, This one surprised me. Sarah Kaufman taking on Claudia Leyte for the Bantamweight Championship, inaugural PAWFC Bantamweight Championship. Sarah Kaufman should be no stranger to anybody that clicks on one of my videos. She's fought everywhere. Strikeforce, UFC, Invicta, PFL, everywhere but Bellator and RIZIN, pretty much. She's fought for, and now she's fighting for. She's home in Canada, fighting on a brand new Canadian promotion, all women's, and she's going to be taking on the Nakao Cyborg Fights Bantamweight champion. Leyte just won the Bantamweight title in Nakao Cyborg Fights down there in Brazil, which is, headed by Chris Cyborg. And she just won that bout like a month ago. So Kaufman, the way more experienced fighter here, coming in at 22-5. Leyte coming in 7-2 now. Kaufman coming in off a win over Jesse Mealy for BTC Fights. That was just like a few weeks back. That was like earlier in December or late November. Before that, she hadn't fought since she fought for PFL 2 years ago. So Kaufman had a bit of a layoff, but then came back and got a win over over a Bellator veteran. Leyte, she is on a nice 4-fight winning streak. Of course, it's spread out over, like the past 2 years. But she fought twice this year, winning a fight by decision and then picking up the Nakao Cyborg title via rear naked choke. And she's fought, a good mix of opponents so far, a good mix of experience, but really stepped it up her last 2 fights. This is a very good fight here for an upstart promotion, brand new promotion, to have someone like Sarah Kaufman fight. I can't imagine she's fighting cheap for them. So I got to give credit to Pallas Athena. It looks like they're going to put on a very good show. They're promising like a high production event. It seems like I saw the ticket prices are expensive. They're promising like a VIP experience. My biggest problem with this is, and you can go to their website, I think it's PAWFC.com. And here's my biggest problem with it. You go to their website, and it gives you right away a thing to view the live stream pay-per-view. Get ready to see this price. $55 to view this live. I don't know if that's Canadian or US. Either way, I got to be honest. That's too much. They're asking for too much. They're asking for more money than what Invicta asked for. And the fights for the last Invicta pay-per-view were much better than this. Okay, look. I will encourage everyone to try to support women's MMA in any way possible. I mean, I've talked numerous times about different ways to support fighters. But anyone that's going to tell me that says that is entirely too much money, I understand completely. I don't think I'm even going to be able to pay for that much. I just don't. Like, I already put a lot of money into MMA each month. I watch a lot of events. A lot of events are on pay-per-view, and they are much cheaper than this. And this is their first event, and they're having it at $55. That is entirely too much money. I don't know what 55 Canadian even is right now. Let me find out. Siri, convert $55 Canadian to US dollars.
55 Canadian dollars is $42.99.
Okay, so right now, Canadian dollars to US, 55 Canadian dollars is $42.99 US. To me, I still feel that's too much to be charging for this event. I wish Pallas Athena the best of luck, but as of right now, I can't endorse paying that much. I just can't. Now, I am going to try to reach out to the head of this organization. I saw he did one interview already on a podcast. I'm going to try to reach out to him myself. See if I can get him on here and at least maybe talk about it and explain that price. But I don't know if I'm going to pay for it or not. That's even expensive for me. And I don't shrimp on paying money for MMA if it's quality. And some of these fights look quality. Some of the fights look quality. But I gotta be honest, most of them there's too many debutantes to be paying $42.99 US, 55 Canadian. But let's go ahead and got the brother man. He's been busy in the chat. I agree with that statement. Rin Nakai return to MMA next year. Yeah, it's supposed to be. You never know with Rin Nakai though. We'll see. Feel this new women's MMA event in Canada is going to be terrible. Could be. Has to be Canadian money. I hope so. I wouldn't buy that ish. And hell no. Yeah, it's a lot of money. So if no, people don't want to pay for it, I'm not going to blame them. Not going to. So that's Pallas Athena. One final thing I wanted to talk about. I saw this on UFC.com and I made a community post about it. This article here, it is the 10 best newcomers of 2021. And out of the 4, they listed 4 ladies. So 10 was Pat Sabatini, 9 was Patty Pimblett, 8 Bruno Silva, 7 Terrence McKinney. Then we have 6, Lupita Godinez, listed at number 6. It says, with 4 fights in 7 months, including 2 in the space of a week, Lupita Godinez quickly became the female version of Donald Cerrone in a rookie year that had everyone cheering the Mexican-born Canadian on. And while she went 2-2 in 2021, many believe she deserved to beat Jessica Penny in their April bout, and her loss to Luana Carolina came a week after her win over Silvana Gomez Juarez, 1 division up from her usual spot at strawweight. In other words, we'll be seeing more of Lupi in 2022. So we had Godinez at 6. We had Erin Blanchfield at number 5. And I can definitely understand why she's on this list here. It says New Jersey's Erin Blanchfield had to wait a bit for her UFC debut, but once she arrived in September, it was on for the 22-year-old phenom who didn't lose a round in a pair of dominant victories over Sarah Alpart and Miranda Maverick. The Maverick win was particularly impressive, and while she won't be facing flyweight queen Valentina Shevchenko anytime soon, a few more big wins, and she may give Bullet a run for her money. Erin Blanchfield definitely made a splash. She had one of the most dominant decision victories in UFC history in her debut against Sarah Alpart. Now, granted, Alpart got cut after that. Alpart not quite UFC quality, but the fact is, the scores, I think she had 2 30-25 scores in that bout. Insane. You don't see dominating scores like that in the women's divisions. You just don't. And then took on Miranda Maverick. A lot of people, including myself, picked Maverick to beat Blanchfield. I made the mistake of underestimating her, and I've been talking up Erin Blanchfield for quite a while. But I'll admit, I underestimated Blanchfield in that bout, and she absolutely dominated Maverick pretty much from bell to bell, just outshone her in every capacity. So Erin Blanchfield's spot on this list, very well deserved. Then Chris Curtis at 4, Michael Chandler at 3. Number 2, flyweight fighter Manon Fiorot. Said few outside of the hardcore fan base knew of France's Manon Fiorot when she debuted in the Octagon in January, but that changed after she stopped Victoria Leonardo in 2 rounds. A second TKO victory, this one over Tabitha Hichi, increased her visibility in the flyweight division, and the Beast ended the year with a 3rd win as she decisioned Maida Buena Silva in October, making her way into the top 15 in the process. That's a good win too. Manon had a pretty good year. I'd say that Ricci fight, that was an absolute gimme fight though. But number 1, Casey O'Neill. Someone that I've been following O'Neill for, I followed her for a while before she got to the UFC as well. And this is well deserved for her. It says another fighter making sure that the flyweight division will remain in the headlines in 2022 is Casey O'Neill. Unbeaten in 8 fights, O'Neill earned 3 of those victories in 2021, finishing Shanna Dobson, Lara Procopio, and Antonina Shevchenko, while showing off a well-rounded game and a solid mean streak in the Octagon. Next up is veteran contender Roxanne Monaferi in early 2022. A win there might have O'Neill closing in on the top 5 at 125 pounds. Good for Casey O'Neill. Number 1 on this list. Well deserved too. 3 fights in a year, 3 finishes. Some people question, the strength of her competition, but you know what? Still, to get 3 fights, 3 finishes, and she came in, she's only like, 5-0 when she made her UFC debut. And I'll tell you what, O'Neill is absolutely dedicated to the craft, and she did everything that she needed to do to get noticed by the UFC. She took a fight for, I want to say it was UAE Warriors, like a week before the UFC did. She was there for her teammate, Lima Lukbumi, when she fought in Abu Dhabi. And then right after that, O'Neill moved to Las Vegas to train and made it known that she was there in case the UFC needed someone on short notice. She was going to be there and she was ready. She got the call up, came in, beat Dobson, came back, beat Procopio, and then took on Antonina Shevchenko and finished her. 3 fights in a year. Well-deserved spot on this list. So all 4 ladies here are definitely fighters to keep an eye on. Godinez, Blanchfield, Fiorot, and O'Neill. 3 of the 4 of them are flyweights too. That division is absolutely coming alive. And Godinez is a good addition to strawweight as well. Got a lot of improvements to make, but she's got a mean streak, that's for sure. The brother man says O'Neill is going to be a huge threat against Shevchenko. Eventually, she could be. She's got to really work on her striking, but she has that killer instinct, which is great, and not a lot of fighters have it. Says O'Neill and Fiorot will fight each other soon. Maybe. I mean, right now, both of their trajectories are moving up. We'll have to see. I think one of them is going to have to take a loss first before they face each other. Is it true that O'Neill has a kid in Australia? I have no idea. I don't think so. I mean, I hope not. Poor kid. Never going to see her. Don't forget Melissa Gatto. Yeah, she's Gatto's serious too. Wasn't her debut this year though, but Gatto, first fighter to finish Zajara Eubanks. A nasty finish too. Nasty. A kick to the gut. Front kick to the gut. So yeah, that's really what I want to talk about. Fairly short stream, only about 49 minutes so far. Wanted to go over the fights this weekend, which I felt was important. Wanted to talk about Pallas Athena. And then I just wanted to throw this article in just to have something to end the stream on. Anyway, that's really all I have for tonight. I might try to break the RIZIN preview down into its own video. I might just clip it from this stream, or I might just do its own recording. We'll see. But keep an eye out for that, because I'll try to go a little bit more in. If I do its own recording, I'll try to go a little bit more in depth. Also, I am working on a preview video for a somewhat preview video. I don't want to say what it is just yet, but it's a fight that I think it's an upcoming fight. Doesn't have a date yet, but the matchup is set. Just don't have a date yet. A lot of people I know are going to be looking forward to this one. I don't want to say what it is yet. I want it to be a surprise, but keep an eye out for that one. Also, in my channel's community posts, let me bring those over here. In the community posts, I have posed a question. So the year is almost over, although there are still some events left, the 3 that I mentioned tonight. I'm looking for nominations for the year-end awards in the following categories: Knockout of the Year, Submission of the Year, Breakout Fighter of the Year, Prospect to Watch in 2022, Fight of the Year, and Fighter of the Year. So 6 categories I'm looking for nominations for. Go down to comments. I honestly really didn't get any nominations yet. I guess Juliana Pena, but that's really the only nomination. So I'm still looking for nominations for the year-end awards. Now they go from January 1st to December 31st of 2021. So the entire year of 2021, any fight, any fighter, any knockout, any submission is eligible. And then the one for really prospect to watch in 2022, that's a fighter, a young prospect that you feel is going to really make their mark next year, in the coming year. So like last year, the fighter to watch in 2021, I named as Seika Izawa, and so far she's proven me right. She won the Deep Jewels title. She won again, beating Shiyu Park. And then this Friday night in Japan, she's taking on Ayaka Hamasaki. And if she wins, man, it'd be awesome. So still looking for nominations for those 6 categories. But anyway, that's really all I have for tonight. You know, I try to keep these streams short. Some people just like to drone on and on and on and on and talk about the same subjects over and over again every stream. That's not my style. If I'm going to talk about a subject, I'm going to talk about it, and then I'm going to move on to something else. And I might not talk about it again for a while, where some people just like to, you know, some MMA channels. I mean, this goes across the breadth and depth of YouTube MMA. They'll just talk about the same subjects over and over and over and over again. And that's cool. They like it. Their fans like it. That's just not me. Like, I'm not going to talk about the top 5 at strawweight 3 freaking live streams in a row or 3 straight weeks in a row, because it gets boring. It gets old. There's so much to talk about in this wide world of MMA in the women's divisions. I mean, there's just so much. There's so much outside the UFC too. I mean, we've got Invicta has an event coming up. We've got this Pallas Athena fight. We've got a title. We've got 2 title fights this week on Thursday in 2 different countries. UFC is already has their first 3 months scheduled set. Bellator has several events scheduled already. there's just so much to talk about. That's just how I am. I can't talk about the same thing over and over and over again. I get bored with that. But I don't know. If you want to see more of that, let me know. If you like what I'm doing, again, let me know. You know, I'm always looking for ways to improve the channel. I do have some ideas for the new year that I'm going to try to implement. Also have some ideas that I started last year and then got away from. So I'm going to try to do more of those again, namely the Blast from the Past and the retro fight reviews. I'm going to try to bring those back. I might start doing some like fight scoring, like watch replays of fights and then score it as the fight plays. Can't show the fights on the screen, obviously, but I know like a lot of channels do that to good results. Maybe I might try to implement that myself. We'll see. But this is going to be the last live stream probably for the year, unless I decide to do something Wednesday night, but I doubt it. But till then, we'll see you next, probably maybe Sunday. We'll do a review for the week. And if not, then next Thursday, we'll be back to normal with the WMMA report. But until then, everyone have a good new year. Stay safe out there. If you're going to drink, don't drive. If you're going to drive, don't drink. Okay, I posted up some photos last year on New Year's Eve, and I'm going to do it again this year. Please, please, please be safe this new year. Don't drink and drive. Okay, you're not only putting yourself at risk, you're putting others at risk. And I don't want to, end up finding out that, oh, one of my, subscribers went out and made a horrible mistake. Okay, just please, please, please don't go out there and drive drunk. Whatever country you're in, wherever you are, who you are, I don't care what your age is. Just don't do it, please. That is me imploring you to be safe this holiday season. Just if you're going to drink, don't drive. If you're going to drive, don't drink. Designated drivers, Uber, Lyft, taxi, bus, whatever is available to you. Phone a friend, phone a family member. Just do whatever is going to keep you safe. But until then, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you're watching on replay, please don't forget to like the stream, because that's what draws people in as the stream is live. And while you're at it, if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to WMMA Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.